Welcome everybody, my name is Poison Ducky. This is going to be a Vampire Counts versus Wood Elves replay on Quick Play, let me remind you, and it's not going to be a tournament match because my opponent is Master Corner Camp. Now I'm not going to pause or put in slow motion as I introduce the armies because it's going to take a while for our armies to introduce ourselves, as they say. So my opponent, Master Corner Camp, I think I'm going to see a pattern here. 5 units of treekin, one of the best holding units in the game. They take forever to route. They take so much damage before they actually die. And they have physical resistance. They deal magical attacks. They have 51 melee defense normally. That is a tough unit to get past. Now 3 units of Wildwood Rangers. These are the infantry shredders that the Wood Elves have. They have great weapons, or they're a glaive infantry as classified by the game, and they're pretty much the anti-infantry and anti-armor that goes really well against Graveguard. So they have really good stats, very low armor though, so you have to be careful about that. And 5 units of Glade Guard with a mix of Starfire Shafts and Hagbane tips, so there's fire damage and poison that is ready. As in leadership, Master Corner Camp is going to bring the Glade Lord. It's going to be the lady this time with her Prey of Anathema and a Branch Wraith as their caster. Now, if you see here, this is a very, very tactical position. As many people would say, it's called defensive geometry. Now, in Warhammer multiplayer, there is this thing called the edge of the map, the white line, as we call it. And when you get routed off this white line, your unit is lost forever. They're not coming back, no matter how, if they get terrified, or they just simply took so much damage in a very small amount of time. Now, this is a very illegal thing to do in our tournament scene because with this sort of strategy, I have really no way of flanking Mr. Master Corner Camp. Now, what did I bring to destroy the corner camping bro? Now, I have Isabela Von Carstein. Now, she is someone I don't actually see very often, and it's for good reason. The only thing really special that she can bring is the fact that she can have the Blood Chalice of Bathory, which greatly replenishes hit points and increases the vigor of hero units. Only hero units, might I say. So she would be such a great support unit if she herself was a hero and you can bring her to support Vlad or something, but unfortunately she can only do it on either herself or hero units. But healing is very effective against Banshees, and that's why when you do bring Isabela Von Carstein, I would say it's probably a really bad idea not to bring a hero cord with her, so I do bring 2 Banshees. And these are ethereal, and ethereal units do benefit much more from healing due to their physical resistance. They have about 75%, so about 1 point of healing for a Banshee is about the equivalent of 4 points of healing for any other unit. Now my front line is going to be standard set for my vampire counts. I've got zombies, they're very powerful, the slow-moving lumbering giants, as in the vampires that can just hold you up, right? So skeleton warriors as a secondary line, the third line of Graveguard, including the ROR, the Stearnsmen, which are practically unkillable. This is tend to see when I'm looking through my replays, I have a very specific playstyle with the vampire counts. I do lots of infantry, very layered approach, very much with a few very powerful units to sort of isolate and destroy certain flanks. So, speaking of powerful units, I've got 2 fluffy puppies. They're the Vargulfs. They look so cute. They're adorable today, ready to smash some trees into oblivion. They have the armor piercing required to get through treekin, but treekin still have physical resistance. So, how do I get that smashing damage, the charge to destroy the treekin? That's going to be the Blood Knights. Their 78 charge bonus will do good here, as even though they may not have armor piercing, they have the anti-large, and the charge bonus gives them armor piercing damage. So, Blood Knights actually may able to deal with the treekin. So as I approach, that's the rest of my army, by the way, I'm going to get little snipes from the Glady. She's going to try to shoot at my Banshees, and that was quite an amount of damage, like 10% right there almost. And the Glady does have magical ammunition, so that's really dangerous for my Banshees. Now, it's going to take a little while. I must fast forward here because zombies, turns out, are not the fastest unit in the game. In fact, they only have 23 speed. So, they're going to be going up slowly but surely. They're going to take a withering fire from these Wood Elf archers. The menace of my... I would have to say, Wood Elves are easily my least. They just rub me the wrong way out of any other faction. I do respect players that play him. Rubber Duck of War himself is another Wood Elf player, and I respect him very greatly. I just don't like fighting the Wood Elves. Now, after I lost 100 gold of value with the zombies, my opponent is looking to take away 200 gold of value from me between 2 zombies, and maybe even 300. But the frontline engagement is going to go, and my skeleton warriors, as brave as they can be, considering they have no will of their own, are going to charge against the treekin, because if they had their own will, they would definitely not do this. Now, I'm going to make sure here on the left flank, my Grave Guard are the unit to hold this, because they will last much longer. And here comes the flank overlord. 2 fluffy puppies and the Blood Knights charging into this treekin. It's going to be a huge amount of gold investment in this one flank. And I'm even going to use the Curse of Years to reduce melee attack and increase ability recharge on the Glade Lord. So no more Prey of Anathramas and no more Arrows of Kermunos. So I'm going to have another zombie summon in the back. Gotta stop those Glade Guard from shooting my fluffy puppies. And look, so much money invested in one flank, and the treekin are only at half health. That really shows to you how well treekin can hold. Like, that 51 melee defense is quite insane, in my opinion. Now, my front line, I do have them fighting, but they're really only there. The only reason they're fighting is so that the treekin can't flank around and support this flank, because I need to break through this as fast as possible and make it into this juicy, juicy Wood Elf back line. Treekin still holding out, even though they're losing decisively. They're being surrounded by Blood Knights, Grave Guard, fluffy puppies, and they're just taking forever to be taken down. Now, I'm going to get the Blood Knights out of here. They got to get their cycle chart. That 78 charge bonus needs to be put to work, and the fluffy puppies are going to take a beating. Look at this crossfire from the Glade Guard. It's going to be something I really can't handle well, that's for sure, because fire damage versus Vargulfs, it turns out, is extremely effective because they have regeneration. So I need to be pushing forward, and a beautiful pendulum on my units. Because of the way my units are just built out, pendulums are going to be very effective. Now, it does miss the Sternsman, and the Sternsman is the key unit here in holding the front line. So as long as I have that one, I should be okay. But my Grave Guard on the flanks, ooh, they are taking a beating. Now, on this flank, I do finally put another Curse of Years here, an AoE debuff. No one can hit, in terms of melee stats, no one's going to hit my units. And I send one Fluffy Puffy right into the back line as I do another zombie summon to try to get these Glade Guard out of here. Now, you may be considering, wait a minute, didn't I have 2 Fluffy Puppies just destroyed by arrows? This one fluffy puppy in the corner, look, you can see its little carcass, I'm so sorry, got completely and utterly annihilated by those flamefire shafts. And the balance of power quite even right now as I try just break more and more. Another zombie summon trying to just stop these Glade Guard from firing. This fluffy puppy is just trying to get as much value, but getting shot by Hagbane tips and Starfire, it just deals a good number on them. Now look at these treekin. These are the heroes of the Wood Elves. Holding still, how many models? 5 models left, only 1,000 HP too. And they're just fighting to the bitter death against my Grave Guard. You think undead units are unbreakable? Look at treekin. My god, these guys will just hold forever. I'm going to try to get another good cycle charge with my Blood Knights, but look at this. The Wildwood Rangers are coming back to support the back line. Make sure those archers don't get any more pressure on them than they need, and they're very good at clearing up my zombie chaff, so I need to be careful there. But here comes the Grave Guard. I finally made a hole in the gap. 4 units of treekin still okay, but I find just one treekin routing is all I need to get into the back line, and that means my Blood Knights are primed and ready to get some rear charges on treekin. Make this gap even wider as they deal devastating damage to the treekin. Now, my hero core is actually sitting here and doing very well. Banshees are practically assassins in terms of how they deal, and they're just going to kill the Glade Lord and Terrifier right off the battlefield. There are negatives of being right at the line, and because of that, when you get terrified around, you're just straight off, and you lose the Lord just like that as she disappears into the beautiful sunset of whatever this map is. Now, Fluffy Puppy still alive. The Vargulf is trying to beat down the Branch Wraith, but more Archer Fire. I need to get another zombie summon in here, and just what the doctor called, here comes another zombie summon. Due to the small space, the zombies will be able to stop up multiple units, and that's very, very useful especially for zombies, since zombies just take so long to kill. All of these units are stuck in melee combat. Now some more rear charging and frontal charges from my Blood Knights. I have taken 2 out of the 5 treekin off the battlefield. It's just taking so long. 11 minutes left. By the way, this is a 20-minute timer, so it's been 9 minutes of this going on. And my Death Dune squad is going to try to take out this branch wraith. Now, Isabela is quite a good combatant over here at, what, 50 in melee attack and 65 melee defense with no armor piercing, but she is very good as long as she stays in combat against infantry. Now, Fluffy Puppy really taking the hurt. It's almost starting to crumble, in fact. But I see a regrowth, I believe, in Earthblood by my opponent, and the whole front line of treekin is going to finally buckle. Excuse me right there. Buckle under the pressure of the constant cycle charging of the Blood Knights. Master Corner Camp, you made a valiant attempt to defeat the powerful vampire counts, but the corner has been defeated today, and maybe another day will Master Corner Camp show his power of the corner camping. That was almost a poem. That was poetic. Now remember, guys, please don't do this. You're watching this replay. Do not do this to your opponents. It might be a strategy, but it's just not a good one. Better players will stop you from doing this, like my Blood Knights charging into these Glade Guard. They'll rout straight off the battlefield, and with that, army loss is going to start soon. Bounce of power, and there goes the win. Remember, don't try to corner camp. Master Corner Camp, I recognize the meme, and I respect the meme, but I don't respect the strategy. So remember, leave a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you want more. I'll catch you guys later.